What's going on, guys? Today is going to be a little bit of a suggestion video that you guys wanted me to make. So today is going to be a little bit on how to create a virtual private network known as a VPN. VPNs are used for securing tunnel traffic, if you want to do your banking more securely, browse more safely, more anonymity, this is the tutorial for you. I've seen a lot of tutorials on OpenVPN on how to create VPNs, but most of the ways that they've done it is they manually create their own certs, and for most people they just don't have the time or the knowledge to do that, so I figured today I would do the easiest and most affordable way on how to create a VPN without breaking the bank. Anyways, so let's jump right into it. So basically what you're going to head over to is you're going to head over to your browser, which mine happens to be Google Chrome. And first of all, you're going to need three things. You're going to need a couple programs, the first one being Putty, which I will go here in a second. The second one is going to be Winscp, and this will be basically the client to connect FTP to drag your files and get all your config files for your VPN. And the third one is you are going to need a virtual private network service provider or a dedicated server, completely up to you, but mine happens to be a virtual private server, so I'm going to go ahead and head over to Google. And my provider happens to be Yoctobox, so we're going to type them in here. And they are, I believe, $10 a month for 3 months, which isn't too bad at all, actually. They have incredible line speeds, which is good, so that's definitely a plus. That's one thing about a VPN, is you are going to want to get unlimited bandwidth if you can, and very good line speeds, because if you don't, then you're gonna basically have a lot of lag and lots of problems. Alright guys, once you're in here, you're gonna head over to services or whatever it says to get into your actual server. Mine happens to be details, so we're gonna go ahead and click on that real quick. And we're gonna wait here. My next due date is 1/7/2018, so I have a few more months to go. Okay, so somewhere on the top or the bottom of your service provider's page, there's going to be what's called an IP address. You're going to go ahead and right-click on this, and you're going to click Copy. Now, the program that I was talking about earlier you're going to need to download is going to be right on this website here, which I will link down in the description for you guys, so you can go ahead and download it. I've already downloaded it, so I don't really need to download it again. So I already have it installed, so you're just going to go ahead and click on the Start button down here, and you're going to type in Putty. Now, you're going to take the IP address that you got from your service provider over here, and you're going to go ahead and copy it, and you're going to paste it in here. You're going to make sure that your port is on 22 and that you're clicked on SSH. You want to make sure it's SSH, because if it's on serial or raw, it won't connect. You're going to go ahead and type in your username and your password. And the first command that you're going to want to run is yum update. And why we want to do this is basically we want to make sure that the server is completely updated on all the packages and distributions. So you don't want to run a VPN and have things possibly not run right or secure. So you want to make sure that your packages are completely updated. So the second command that you're going to want to run is yum upgrade. And my server does not need any updates, so I won't, it won't install anything. So now what you're going to want to do is I will also link this in the description. You are going to go ahead and head to Google, and you're going to type in OpenVPN Road Warrior. Alright, you're going to scroll down and you're going to see the script command line. You're going to go ahead and copy and then paste this, and you're going to paste this into Putty. Now, I've already installed OpenVPN, but normally, actually, I'll just go ahead and uninstall it for you guys real quick, and I'll be right back. I'm just going to redo everything. Okay guys, I'm back. So I went ahead and uninstalled OpenVPN just to show you guys how you are going to do it. So you're going to go ahead, and I've already copied and pasted this. I'm going to go ahead and copy it. You're going to go over here, and you're going to right-click to paste here. You always right-click to paste on Putty. Now, it's going to ask you for what type of protocol you want to use. You just want to use UDP unless you are having major latency problems, like if you are using speed test to run a speed test and the ping is super high, then you want to change your protocols to either UDP or TCP. So for now, I'll just use it for UDP because I have super good line speeds. And for the port, you can choose whatever you want, but I have found personally that the stock port that they give you is sufficient, so I will just use the port that they give me here. This also depending on your service provider, they may not let you use other DNS service providers. What I mean by that is, so if you go to create an OpenVPN file and you go to connect to it and the DNS is blocked, it won't connect. And sometimes service providers are kind of picky about what DNS you use. So for this, I'll just use the system current resolvers that are already on here that they use. And this is basically your config file name, so you can basically name this whatever you want to name it. For this, I'm just going to name it test1. And you're going to go ahead and it's going to say okay, that's all we need, and you're going to hit enter. And keep in mind, this may take a little bit because it has to install all the packages and the files, so it may take probably 5 or 6 minutes to do all this. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, and I will jump back with you guys once it's done. Alright guys, now that we are done with that, so the client configuration file has been created. Now what we're going to want to do is we're going to head over to Google again, and we're going to type in Winscp. You're going to go over here to official download, and you're going to click download. I think I already have it downloaded. I do not. Okay, so I'll go ahead and download it for you guys and install it and walk you through the steps on what you need to do. So you're going to go down here, click open, run. You're going to click accept, typical installation, commander, and install. Okay, you're going to click next, and we will launch Winscp. Okay, so now what you're going to want to do is your IP that you had earlier, which is going to be, mine's going to be right here. You're going to go ahead and copy and paste that again, and you're going to click and paste this and click login. And so, like I was talking about earlier, if you go to log in for the first time on Putty, it's going to ask you this. Just go ahead and click yes, and type in your username, password. Okay, so now what you're going to do is normally you wouldn't come to the root page, you would be in the default directory here. So you're going to look for a folder called root. You're going to click on that, and you're going to see the test file that we made right in here is going to be located right here. So now, what you're going to do is you're going to go to Google, type in Open VPN, which I already have this installed, but you guys can install this. So you're going to go down here, and usually you would click exe down here. I'm not going to do that because I already have it installed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here, this computer, go to local disk, program files, and then click on Open VPN, and you're going to look for a folder called config. Now I already have a config file from a previous server. I'm going to go ahead and delete this so it doesn't confuse you guys. And what we're going to do is we're going to go over back to Winscp, which is down here, and you're going to drag this to your desktop. You're going to click OK. And then you're going to drag this, and then you're going to put it in your config folder. And now, it should be good to go. So we're going to go to OpenVPN, and open that up. You're going to go down here to your taskbar, right click on this, and you're going to click connect. And if everything went successfully, it should say block outside DNS using server succeeded, and then it should close out just like that. Now, to make sure that the VPN is 100% connected, you're going to go to Google real quick, and you're going to type in my IP, in which mine has been connected. You can also go here to see your details and your IP address just to double check if you aren't sure, and my location shows here, Scranton, Pennsylvania, which I am not located there. ISP volume drive, so it is definitely working. If for some reason you get a error upon connecting on this, if you get like a, let's say for example, actually let me purposely mess this config file up just to show you guys. If something like this were to happen, it will usually, let's click save, and then we'll try to reconnect again here. Okay, so if it says something like this, like restart pause, or like management private key, you know, cannot sign on, basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to retype in this command that we did earlier. That will be in GitHub. So if for some reason it doesn't connect, you're going to want to go over to GitHub here, copy this, and then you're going to want to rerun this command. And then once this gets done, you're going to want to head over to Winscp, type in your details, and then look for this config file, and then drag this to your desktop, and then move it over to your config folder. Anyways guys, this is going to be the end of my tutorial. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to message me on YouTube or Facebook. I hope I helped you out a lot, and anyways, this is in this tutorial. See ya. Okay guys, I'm back. So the config file did create. As you can see, your client configuration is available at roottest.1, which is what we made. So now what we're going to do is we're going to head over to Google again, and this is the program I was talking about earlier. So you're going to type in Winscp, and basically this is going to be the program to get your test configuration file that you made, or whatever you named it. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to want to download this. And I've already have it installed, so I'm not going to download it again. So I'm just going to go down here to the start menu and type in Winscp, and I will open that. Now, if you don't have your IP address that you copied earlier, you're going to want to go ahead and head over to your service provider again, and you're going to want to copy and paste this IP again in Winscp. So for the host name, this will be your IP, and then your username is your root, and then you're going to go ahead and click login, and then type in your password. Now, normally you wouldn't be taken to this directory when you first log into your VPS or your dedicated server. Normally, when you go to log in, it will take you to the default directory, which is all of these folders here. Now, you're going to want to look for a folder called root, and you're going to see your test file in here. Now, this was a test file I made earlier, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete this because this isn't needed anymore. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to take this test file, you're going to drag it, and you're going to drag it to your desktop. Now, it's on my desktop now, so what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go down here to the folders, File Explorer. We're going to go ahead and click on that, and then this PC, click on that, and then local disk. Okay, so now you're going to look for a folder called Program Files. And then you're going to look for a folder called OpenVPN, and then Config. Now, I already have the config from when I did earlier from another server, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete this so it doesn't confuse you guys. So what you're going to do now is you're going to take your file that you got from your desktop and you're going to go ahead and drag this into your config folder. Now once that's done, you're going to go ahead and go to Google again, and this is actually the fourth program I forgot to mention. You're definitely going to need this. So you're going to go ahead and type in OpenVPN. This is very essential because this is going to be the program that's going to use your config file to basically access your VPN, and you absolutely need this. Then you would just scroll down here and you click on the exe file, you go ahead and download that, run through the setup. Not terribly hard to do. So go ahead and go down once you've installed that to the start menu and type in OpenVPN. Now I already have it open, so it says OpenVPN GUI is already running. Click OK. Now OpenVPN isn't gonna like open as an official program on your desktop. You're gonna actually have to go down to your taskbar down here and click on this, and then you're gonna have to right click on it and then click Connect. And then it should say blocking out DNS, and then the window should close. And if it does, that means you are connected. Okay, so we are connected. So now to test to make sure that your VPN is 100% connected and established, you're going to want to go ahead and head over here to another tab and type in My IP, just to make sure that your IP has been in fact switched over from your regular IP. And as you can see here, local IP, blah blah blah, location, Scranton, which I don't live there, and the ISP volume drive. So the VPN is connected. Now, if you want to test your line speeds on to see how fast your VPN is, just head over to speedtest right here, speedtest.net, and you go ahead and click Go. And normally on my normal IP, I get 200 megabits down and 10 up. And it's not too bad. The VPN does pretty good. And you have to keep in mind, I'm also on a 2.4 gigahertz channel versus a 5. If I were to do this on a 5 channel, I would probably get close to 50 to 75. So. Not bad for a VPN connection, I have to say, and the ping is doing really good. Normally, a VPN, you know, your ping really varies. It can be anywhere from 60 milliseconds all the way up to 900. So the lower that you can get this, the better. And how you go about doing this is try to find a VPN, or a VPS, sorry, a virtual server that is closest to you. So, like, say for example, you go to Google, and you say that, okay, let's go to OVH, okay, and you click on OVH, and you go over to View Servers, right? Wait for this to load up here. Okay, so let's say that you get a VPS all the way in Singapore, right? And you're like, let's say you live in California. So your ping is going to be probably average on 500 to 600 milliseconds, if not more. And what that happens is if you're into gaming and if you're using a VPN to not get booted offline or just something like that, or to be more secure, the higher this ping is, the more lag that you're going to have. And so we want to try to keep this ping as low as we possibly can. Now, Regularly, my ping on average is about 16, 17, so to have an 84 millisecond ping really is not that bad for a VPN. So the lower that you can get that number, the better. So definitely try to get that as low as you can. So anyways, guys, this is going to be pretty much the end of my video here. This is basically on how to make a VPN. If you have any questions or comments or any suggestions for future videos, feel free to comment, and we'll make it happen. Anyways, guys, peace.